Hello everyone and welcome back to Chicane, where we, your hosts,
Brinley
and McKenna, put the chic in motorsport.
Our goal is to bring you the latest paddock poll, provide in-depth and unique interviews with fans and your favorite F1 content creators.
And encourage you to learn about the sport in a fun and innovative way.
We hope you stick around for today's episode to hear our thoughts on Spa and some silly season seat predictions.
And with that, let's get ready.
Why was that so rough to get through?
It's like an awkward, millennial pause.
I know,
between each, sentence.
And hello.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay, P1s and DNFs?
Alright, P1 for the week is I met with an old mentor of mine since high school. I haven't seen her in a really long time. And I met her for breakfast this morning, so that was a lot of fun to just catch up and chit-chat. And then for a DNF, I feel like I've been saying this a lot, and maybe I've just been, a little bit under the weather a lot, but you can tell probably in my voice. I just have a runny nose, so I was a little bit kind of under the weather this week, and have had a couple of rough nights of, not being able to sleep. But I'm on the tail end of it now, and I'm getting better, and I'm not contagious, so we're good.
Okay. Yeah. P1s, I went and saw the Twisters movie today. We did a little date with me, my mom, and my little sister. My other sister is out of town right now, but we went and saw the Twisters movie. It was really good. And it put me into a country music kick. I love all types of music, so I've always loved country music, but it put me just kind of back into that summer country kick. And then DNF, I have my last day tomorrow at work, and I've been at this company for 3 years, so not seeing those people throughout the school season will be really weird. And then I just love the company as it is. They have really good values, and she worked there too, so
that's how we met.
That's how we met
through work, guys. We're work besties.
Mm-hmm. And then it extended outside of it. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just, there's a lot of things coming to an end, and then there's a lot of things starting up that are going to be really exciting. It's just a lot of mixed emotions in this next month. So that's probably a DNF for me. But yeah. As for paddock pulp, we've got quite the paddock pulp this week. If you haven't seen this, I'm very shocked if you haven't, but Carlos Sainz has received a seat for the 2025 season for F1, and it is with Williams Racing. So that might be a shocker to some people. What were your thoughts on it?
I'm a little sad. I have hoped for a long time that Williams could make a comeback. And there's potential there, and obviously Carlos sees potential there because they say he's there for 2026 and beyond.
Yeah.
So obviously there is something stirring there at Williams, so I hope that it turns out good. But I was hoping that he could get a Mercedes seat, or there was really no better team than that he could have gone to except for Mercedes, which is just unfortunate.
Yeah.
So
this is 100% rumor, so this is why I didn't put it in our actual paddock pulp, but some speculate that the real reason that Carlos moved to Williams is because Adrian Newey possibly signed on with Williams.
Oh.
And that's why he decided to move.
So maybe there is something happening over there.
So we might be seeing a Williams comeback story.
More will come out in the next few weeks, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, that's the most headline news for F1. And then Alpine's team principal Bruno Faumann is leaving. He just left the team through the summer break, and then they just announced their new team principal Oliver Oakes is set to take the new role after the summer break. So he was a racing driver in the younger categories in a couple years ago, and he then moved into more of a team principal role with different F2 and F3 teams, and then he actually has his own team in F2 right now that Paul Aaron races for.
Oh, okay.
So he will be transitioning into this new Alpine role at the beginning of the second half of the season. So should be really interesting.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see something happen there.
Mm-hmm. And then last but certainly not least for Paddock Pulp, Jamie Chadwick is set to join as a test driver for IndyCar's Andretti team. So we will be doing an IndyCar episode later on in the season, but she's a IndyCar NXT driver right now. So this is actually really good because the NXT is kind of like a feeder series for the actual IndyCar series. So this will be really, really beneficial. Like, she'll be able to actually test in the Indy cars, and it could get her a seat faster. So
that's really exciting.
It'll be really exciting. But yeah, that's all I have for Paddock Pulp.
Okay. So I guess we can just go straight to talking about Spa. What were your thoughts?
I felt like it was kind of a boring race.
Really? Unpopular opinion.
I know. I think there was something else going on personally during the race, so maybe I just wasn't paying as much attention as I usually am. I think all of the events after the race made it much more interesting, but like during the race I was like, meh.
Yeah. I thought the race was really great.
Okay.
I was like, man, the last like 4 races that we've had have just been like that classic Formula One that we know and love. Is just all the feels that I'm getting. I thought there was a lot of great on-track battles, and it was really, really fun to watch. There was a lot of strategy that ended up going into this race, which was fun to like see teams like switch up on the fly. My heart breaks for George. It was very, very unfortunate for him. I mean, there's not really anything else I could say about that. I'm extremely happy for Lewis, though.
Yeah. 105 wins.
Yeah, and I would love to be a fly on the wall in some conversations at Mercedes right now. So yeah. And then I was also grateful that Charles has had a rough last couple races, and he ended up getting P3
because of the disqualification.
So I was like, okay, that's like, he's got some points again, and maybe he can like get back on his feet and kind of do better this last half of the season.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want him to do better. Like, not that he's not doing good. It's like all the factors that go into it. But I'd like to see him have a better second half of the season. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like we said, I was a little bit elsewhere mindset wise, but going back, I live tweet during the race. With my mom because she has hilarious commentary, so I might actually end up mic her up during one of the races and then post it. That'd be funny. But I think she was upset with the McLaren strategy a little bit, and then a lot of people were upset about Lando, like just the drive that he had. But I think that he had a lot going on in his headspace because of his grandma passing away and like the same weekend and being home in Belgium on his mom's side. Like, I felt like there was a lot of stuff going on. So the disqualification was very surprising though. I was in the car on the way to Nashville when it happened, and it was like being talked about that it could possibly happen, but then it actually did, and I was like, holy crap. And I texted Mom, and then I texted you. I was like, George just got disqualified, which we don't see very often. So
yeah, so it was actually funny because I had watched half of the race before going into church, and then had to stop it halfway through, then like went into church, and then we were watching it when we got home. And I had gotten a notification that George was disqualified. Oh. So we knew that George was disqualified, but then we're watching the race, and, it kind of, like, slips your mind. Yeah. And he, like, pulls up to the P1 spot, and I was like, oh, like, that was crazy. That was so good. George was disqualified. And then we were wondering because it took him so long to walk into the cool-down room. We were like, do they know, like, what's happening? Like, Charles just walks in there.
Instead?
Yeah. I was like, maybe he's getting told. I was like, I think I would rather, like,
know before you go on podium.
Get told before celebrating.
No, they went through
But they didn't
everything.
know. You weigh the car afterwards. So
Yeah.
I was like, maybe they know somehow.
I think it's crazy, too, because I was thinking about it. My mom was like, does this happen very often? I was like, not really. And the last time we saw it was with Charles and Lewis last year. But was it for the same thing? I couldn't remember.
They were disqualified, so they put wood on the bottom of the cars.
Yes.
That's
what it was
it's
for.
to make sure that you're not, like, running too low, basically, and cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And theirs was, like, a millimeter off. Like, because it gets shaved down, and when you see the sparks come off the car, it's usually just, like, the titanium bolts that are in the wood hitting the asphalt.
Yeah.
And that's what they were disqualified for.
It's crazy how, like, minimal it is. With George's, though, it was, like, 1.5 kilograms off weight.
Yeah, which is, like, 3 pounds.
It's, like, 3 pounds, yeah. So.
Yeah, which is, like, that's not that much, but it is also a lot.
Yeah.
It's, like, it's all context of, like, what's a lot versus what's not.
I kept seeing all these videos. There's, like, this trend on TikTok right now, and it's, like, POV, I had water today, try to find my waist. And then it was like, George needs to participate in this trend and be like, guys, it's okay, I didn't eat today, like, I'm fine. I am flexible with the 3 pounds, guys. And I was like, that's terrible. There were so many memes.
I'm so skinny.
So skinny, you can't even see me.
You might blow me away.
Little speck in the dust. How did your predictions go?
All right, I guess I don't even remember doing this. I said Charles, Lando, and Oscar for podium, which
after disqualifications,
after disqualifications, Charles was on podium. Who was on podium? It was Lewis and Oscar.
Yeah, Lewis, Oscar, and George. Lewis,
Oscar, and George were on podium. Okay. I was like, I knew that, but for some reason I was like, no, I'm wrong. So I got 2-ish right. So, I mean, not bad. I also had said that Max wouldn't get points, which after I said that, I was like, oh, I'm meaning Max not on podium. But either way, I said technically that he wouldn't get points. So.
Yeah. That was your hot take.
Yeah.
My podium predictions were Lando, Wynn, George, and Charles. So before disqualifications, I got 2 of those right.
Yeah.
Wait, 1 of those right, and then after qualifications, I got 1 of them right. It's fine. Whatever. Yeah. And then my hot take for the race was Alpine Principal would be announced, which I did kind of get because that's this before the preview. And then I said Logan points, and he did not get points.
Which Daniel got points.
I was going to say Danny Rick did get points after the disqualification.
He snuck in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I also had said as a hot take that Pierre would get top 5.
He got like P13.
Which he was not close to the top 5.
Yeah, he got P13. So
we can just
rush past it. Yeah. What were your DNF predictions?
I said 3 DNFs, Yuki, Zhou, and then just a surprise DNF. And
you got Zhou.
Zhou DNF'd?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember.
I was going to say. There was only 1 DNF'd, and it was DNF.
Oh, it was just a retirement,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay.
And then mine was Oscar, Yuki, and Esty Bestie. So, Yuki, where was Yuki? He was 16. Esteban was 9th. And Piastri was on podium.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you had said Yuki and Zhou. So, yeah. Very, very interesting, to say the least. Do you want to get into the stats of that race?
Okay, yes, I do. So, McLaren had the fastest pit stop at 2.05 seconds.
Yeah.
Which, talking about this...
I forgot about this.
Who was it? Was it a McLaren or a Ferrari? Had like a 3.4 second pit stop. And Graham and I were watching the race, and we go, oh, like we're watching the pit stop happen. We're like, oh, that's a bad pit stop. That's so slow. And I was like, it was 3.5 seconds. I was like,
That's not
3.5 seconds is like it's so fast, but
Yeah.
for Formula One, it's so slow.
Yeah.
It's like the context of some of these things that I
did
think
the
about.
same thing.
Like watching a NASCAR pit stop pains me.
Yes.
I'm like, this is so slow.
And then they come in and gas the car.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was watching it, and, like, when I was there, and I was, like, watching it, they pit stop, they run out, and then, like, 2 laps later, they would come in, and I'm like, they just did a pit stop. What do they need tires for? And then they would bring out this, like, gas can that was, like, 3 feet in the air, 4 or 5 feet in the air, and then it would just, like, pump down, and I was like, are they fueling the car?
I was like, this is a different racing category.
Yeah.
Their pit stops are way, way different.
Yeah.
And, like, the mechanics behind it is different.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say though. This was the race that I think it was Oscar that came into the pits, and he came in too fast to the the actual area.
The jack guy.
With the jack guy, and he like flew back, and then he was like, I'm good, and then he jacked it up, and then he got back into the like actual garage, and the cameraman was like wrapping around him, and he was like, I'm good.
Yeah, that has not happened in a long time. We haven't seen that happen in a long time.
Yeah, they were checking on him, and he was cleared and everything, and everybody was like, look at you go, bro, like, you stopped the car. It was crazy.
Man.
And then fastest lap was set by Checo.
Ooh, okay, Checo. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
A minute 44.701 seconds.
Yeah, he pitted for softs.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the race.
Yep.
And then our driver of the day was our eventual race winner, Lewis Hamilton.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
The king. Love him. Yeah, I think that's it for our preview of Spa, and then we'll get into our pit stop fun fact and something else after. Box.
Box. All right. So, for this fun fact, we're talking about Senna.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1993, during the Donington GP, Senna set the fastest lap by taking a shortcut through the pit lane.
What?
And at this time, there were no pit lane speed regulations.
Interesting.
So just keep that in mind. So he came into the pits, but his team was not ready for him. So he just kept on going through and took a shortcut and then ended up setting fastest lap.
Wow.
And that's the end of that story.
Wow. I was telling her, like, every single time I hear a new lore or, like, story about Senna, I'm like, he was a menace. Like, he was always causing problems.
And I feel like since we've been talking about pit stops already today, have you seen that video where, I don't even know who it is, but they run over the mechanic's leg and it, like, breaks?
I don't know if I saw the one
It's
where
so
it
horrible.
broke. I saw one.
It was like,
Where I think it was an F2 recently, and it got stuck in the gravel or grass, and he ran over a marshal. And the marshal just got back up and started pushing the car, and I was like,
at the end of the day, it's not funny.
I felt so bad. I was like, how did he just get run over by a car like that and not have any injuries? Or maybe it was just like the adrenaline, like he shot back up and then just like pushed the car back.
Oh my. Yeah, but no,
I don't think I've seen that one.
I think it's a Ferrari because he's wearing red. Like it, and then the leg just like flopping in the air.
Oh my gosh. Do you know who was driving?
I want to say Kimmy, but I don't think that's right.
Kimmy. Hold on, I have to look this up because I do not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, let's find it now.
Mechanic Ferrari. I'm gonna say Ferrari mechanic. Ferrari mechanic run over.
Careful what you might find.
Run over.
was recent enough to have video of it. Oh,
you found it?
Yeah, it was Kimmy.
It was gonna say
and like
number
his
7.
leg was right there.
Hold on, I don't see it. Oh no! I'm laughing out of like disgust, guys, not because I'm making fun of that person.
It's like you feel like
your leg, your phantom pains.
Yeah.
Like, oh no. No, like in the video, it's the back tire that runs over it, and then it like flips around the tire.
Yeah.
Oh no. It was Kimmy. They stopped him.
Yeah, his knee like goes inwards. Like and okay. Anyways, we don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, so enough with pit
That's
stops.
not a fun fact.
That's not a fun fact. Enough with pit stops. We're going to talk about loosely like our 2025 seat predictions and give you guys an update on where everybody is so far ahead of summer break. We're in the first week of summer break.
Okay.
So we'll keep you guys updated if you want to do Red Bull first.
Okay, so for Red Bull, we obviously have Max, and then Checo is confirmed, although there is a lot of speculation right now. But they're pushing that he is not getting switched halfway through this season really hard. But
he does have contract clauses.
this is subject to change
Yeah.
because his performance is maybe not where it's supposed to be.
As for McLaren, we have confirmed that Lando and Oscar will be driving with them until the end or beginning of the 2026 season. So they're here for a while. We're at McLaren.
And then for Ferrari, this is where we're going to see our first driver's seat change. We have Charles, and then Lewis Hamilton is changing teams.
Very interesting seat change tactic. I'm interested to see how that dynamic is. I think both of them are very well-rounded and like respectful people. So I don't think there will be like that much mix-up in the friendship aspect, but I am interested to see what Lewis does after the season because it is only a 1-year contract. So I'm wondering if he's like trying to get that last Ferrari championship and then head out of F1.
And we were talking about this too. Like, I'm excited to see what Lewis can do at Ferrari, but I am heartbroken that we're not going to have C2 anymore.
I know. Every time that Carlos leaves a team, I'm just heartbroken. Like, the friendships that he builds, like with Lando, I was heartbroken when he left McLaren. And then I was excited for Charles because I feel like Carlos really brought Charles's personality out. And the C2 challenges are iconic and they're fun. And we're just not going to have that anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for Carbon.
Carbon? Is that their new name?
Yes.
Carbon fiber?
Carbon fiber. As for the next seat change, we have no actually seat change for this one. It's Mercedes. We have George, and then the seat next to him is open. So.
Yeah. So the most speculation right now is that Andrea Kimi Antonelli is going to get this seat. They changed the rules in Formula 1 so that 17-year-olds can come into the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm expecting, but I personally would like to see him in F2 for another year.
I agree.
Because this is only his first year in F2.
Yeah. I agree. I think realistically they'll probably end up doing that. But I agree with the stance of, like, I think that he needs one more year in F2. Because we have a tendency for the F1 teams to see the excellence of the drivers in F2 and then just throw them into F1 and then them doing poorly in F1. So I'd like to see a little bit more experience under his belt.
Yeah. Case in point, Logan Sargent.
Heartbroken. Heartbroken. We will get to that. So do you have a prediction if it wasn't Kimi or no?
I don't think anyone who's currently on the grid.
Interesting.
I'll say that. Like, I don't see any drivers right now
Somebody
that
said
they could take.
yesterday to me that they thought maybe they would have Bottas come back for just a season.
That.
Just a season, and he's been there before, and he wouldn't have, like, that. I feel like on his side, he kind of deemed most of the rivalry with Lewis in a way, so he could have the fight in that with George.
Yeah, I would love that. I keep seeing Valtteri just as, like, ready to leave any day.
Yeah.
So I guess I didn't really consider him.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
But that kind of put it on my radar, and I was like, I could deal with that for a year.
Did you see the video of him doing like all of the Olympic sports?
No.
Because that was. I'll have to show it to you after this.
Okay. And then you have the next one.
Okay, so for Aston Martin, we have Golden Boy Lance Stroll, and then the iconic Fernando Alonso.
Rookie of the year.
Every year.
Every year. To the end of time. Just kidding. And then for Alpine, we have Pierre Gasly and questionable seat for that one, which I feel like we will get soon. With the new Alpine principal, it looks like they're shaking some things up around Alpine, trying to reconstruct the team. So I can see them signing on somebody very soon. Who do you think?
Logan?
Hot take. Logan at
That would be
Alpine?
so exciting.
I would love that. I don't think it's going to happen,
No,
but
it's
I would love that.
Most likely, Joe, even though I don't think he's going to get a seat again.
Okay.
Or Kevin, I feel like.
Those are, oh, okay. For the Alpine seat.
Yeah. They're so random. But those are like...
I disagree.
Who do you think?
Jack Doohan. He's the reserve driver right now.
He is. I didn't even
And he's also in the Alpine Academy for F2, I think.
Yeah.
Or he was.
Yeah,
So,
I guess I was just thinking about
like current
people
drivers?
on the grid
Oh, okay.
and like people who are racing in F2.
Okay.
I was like,
Yeah. I think
literally no one of them.
there's a little way nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Jack Doohan would be a good option for the Alpine seat.
Another new face.
Mm-hmm. I'm all for rookies. And then you had the next team.
All right, at Williams, we have Alex Albon and just confirmed recently Carlos Sainz.
Mm-hmm. Very
Or
interesting.
Chili.
Yeah.
Carbon. Yeah.
Alex Albon and then Carlos, so they did Carbon. Which is funny.
I get it.
Carbon. Carbon. And then at Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, or VCARB for short, we have a confirmed seat for Yuki, and this other seat is unconfirmed. So it could either be re-signed as Daniel, a completely new face, or I would like to see Liam Lawson.
I would love to see Liam Lawson or Daniel. Either way. I feel like there's no way Daniel moves to a different team unless it's Red Bull. Or then he's just dropped completely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think those are really their only two options right now. They are, I think this week, Liam and Daniel are doing testing in Red Bull cars.
Okay.
So I think that will kind of confirm
Silly
their
season.
positions for next year.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of get a final answer soon.
Silly season is cooking.
It's going to be silly.
As for Stake, we've got Nico Hulkenberg, and then the seat next to him is unconfirmed.
Yeah, what are you thinking for that one?
I really don't know. I think this seat, like, perplexes me the most. Because I genuinely thought out of any of the midfield teams, Carlos would go for this one because of the Audi,
I thought so too.
like, rumors and ties and everything. So I genuinely have no idea who to put besides Hulkenberg.
Yeah. I don't know. Because, like, I've been thinking about people on who's not, I think is not getting a seat confirmed for next year. And then I'm like, I don't know enough people who could come in
Yeah.
to, like, predict.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Joe's getting a seat for next year, and I don't think Kevin's getting a seat for next year. And I don't think Logan's getting a seat for next year. As much as it breaks my heart. I do hope that we get a confirmation of what he is doing.
Yeah.
IndyCar? Though.
IndyCar, do you need another driver?
IndyCar, please.
Take my man. I'm just saying.
And then over at Haas, we have Oliver Behrman and Esteban Ocon.
Mm-hmm. Brand new driver for F1. Already has points in his driver.
Yeah, he's like
card.
16th in driver standings right now.
Yeah. It's more than Logan. And then...
Okay. We're literally like, we love Logan. And
Guys,
then diss on him the next
I
sentence.
do love Logan. I'm just stating actual facts.
Yeah.
And then the notorious Esteban Ocon.
This shocked me.
It did. I was not expecting it at all.
Yeah. It's always also so weird to see a driver wear different colors.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, whenever that Photoshop hit, I'm like, huh? Like, sometimes it's so hard to picture driver changes in my head because I'm like, they would never wear a different color.
They would never
Like-
wear orange.
Yeah. I'm like, hold on. Like, Carlos
Carlos and
wearing blue?
White and blue, because their suits are white.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, my brain doesn't
Maybe it'll
compute.
grow on us.
I'm sure it will.
I wonder if they'll still do Team Torque, though, even with Carlos.
I hope so. I do love Alex and Logan's
I
friendship.
do. And I felt like Logan was just coming out of his shell. Poor Logan. We'll see where he goes, though, and where everybody else goes, so...
Only time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, and we're only in the first week of silly season. Only halfway through the first week, so we'll get to a point where we'll know more things.
That's true.
Okay.
I mean, do you have anything else to say about what you're expecting, what you're hoping, who you think we won't see next year, what change you're most excited for?
I think I'm most excited or most anticipated for the Mercedes seat and then like the Williams dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
So excited to see where who will pair up with Mercedes, because I feel like that's a top team right now. So really whoever they're going to put in there is either going to make or break the team.
Yeah.
That's my point of view on it.
I think Haas will be an interesting one to look out for because although Esteban isn't a new driver, he is new to the team.
Yeah.
And that's usually, I feel like you want to avoid both your drivers changing in the same year.
But Haas is known.
But they've
for
done
doing
it a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that. And then I'm excited to see who goes to kick.
Yeah.
And
the thing is for me though, the more I'm thinking about all these seat changes, it's really going to shake up my second team. Like McLaren is my first team, but like second team, I want to root for Oliver so bad. I want to root for... I'm probably going to stick with Williams because I like both Alex and Carlos. But then if Jack Doohan joins Alpine, then I might be a partial Alpine fan.
yeah.
So, like, my loyalties might be changing.
Yeah. We just love it.
Everybody.
Most all of the drivers.
Yeah. We have respect for all the drivers. And then, yeah, we don't hate any of the drivers. Let's just say that. We don't hate any of the drivers.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But, yeah. I think this will be an interesting
What did
season.
you do to my pipe?
Sorry guys, that was a loud noise. I tend when I get laughy taffy. When I get laughy, I start smacking or hitting people or things. So I'm sorry. We should
I'm
probably.
McKenna and I have been abused by Brittany's laughter.
It was so funny. I was at Target the other day with the guys from work.
Mm-hmm.
I was just walking around and I was like delusional after work. I use my brain too much at work, and then like I get home and I just usually shut it off. But we went straight after work to Target. And I was like laughing at the stupidest things, and then one of them goes, "Oh, here it comes." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "You have a silent laugh and then you have a cackling laugh." And usually they go in between each other, and like one starts with one and then you in with the other. And I started silent laughing, and then I breathed in, and then I started cackling just because I thought it was funny, and they were right. So
No.
Yeah, we should probably sign off before we
All
just
right.
go into a bunch of delusional thoughts.
Let us know, DM us, comment on this on Spotify if you can, if your Spotify lets you. And let us know your thoughts for driver's seats silly season. What most surprised you and what your favorite announcement has been, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll be making a post of our race seat predictions on Instagram. So if you are watching through YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe if you like the channel, if you liked the video, if you like our content. We do have some more videos that we might be coming up with soon. And then if you want to comment, we love interacting with you guys in the comments. So feel free to comment. Like we said, like and subscribe.
Oh my gosh.
What?
We got a hate comment.
We did get our first hate comment. It was very funny. But yeah.
We deleted it though.
We might have deleted it. It's fine.
Because we don't spread hate.
We don't spread hate. So, yeah. Like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and then follow us on Spotify if you have that. And if you would feel like it and you love us as much as you say you do, then give us a rating on Spotify. It really helps with the monetization and just, like, getting it to other people that might be interested in the podcast or learning about motorsports. And we always appreciate it. Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
We love you guys, and that's Checkered Flag.
Yeah. Bye.